Okay, so there's a huge demand for STEM teachers across Ireland, and that's in particular for chemistry and physics. So DCU has responded to that, and now we have a course that brings you to the point where you can become a fully qualified teacher at the end of 4 years. So instead of doing a master's degree, just education, and then doing your course kind of content for your subjects for your undergrad, you do everything in 4 years. So this course entails that you can do chemistry and maths or physics and maths. And it means that you can teach junior cycle science, junior cycle maths, and then leaving cert higher level, ordinary level, foundation level, physics, chemistry, maths. So you have a wide range of subjects that you can teach in school once you qualify. And there's also information technology taught within the course too. So, just a little bit of background. It's a 4 year degree, as I said, and the teacher training is in line with the science and maths that you'll be learning in college. So, everything is together. And the benefit of that is when you're learning physics, chemistry, maths, plus the teaching, you can kind of integrate them together, and it's a lot easier because you're doing the content as you're learning about teaching methodologies. So that was a huge benefit to me. Also, as I said, you get to register with the Teaching Council at the end, and you're qualified to teach two Leaving Cert level subjects, so physics and maths or chemistry and maths. We no longer have physics and chemistry, just to note that. And also, you have 22 weeks of school placement in whatever school it is across the country in years 3 and 4. The big difference with DCU is your placements are kind of long stretches in third and fourth year. So in third year, you have your 6 week placement, and that's kind of from October to Christmas time. And then for fourth year, you have it from January to May. So your full semester out in school. The good thing about that is that you're fully immersed in the school community, the culture, you're getting used to the day to day being a teacher. Some other courses in other colleges, they kind of do 2 or 3 days a week in the school, and then you have 2 days of college. So you're not fully immersed in school, but with this course, you completely are. And your lesson planning, you're making your units of work. So for each chapter, you'll come up with different lesson plans and creative activities for students. And then you're teaching maybe full classes or at least 3 to 4 classes of a group. So it's an absolutely brilliant experience. And from myself and my other peers in fourth year, we can definitely say it is the highlight of the course. I am currently on my placement. I just started this week. So it's a very exciting time. Also, a little bit more information on that. So, teaching staff across DCU's Institute of Education and the Faculty of Science and Health. So, that means that when you're doing our course, you will be on the Glasnevin campus, but you'll also be on St. Pat's campus. So you get a bit of both. For transport, there's loads of buses that bring you to and from, and it's about a 20-25 minute walk from St. Pat's to Glasnevin. So that's never been an issue for us. As I said before, IT and digital learning is a huge part of the course, especially because of COVID. I hate bringing up COVID all the time, but COVID did change the education realm in that a lot of grinds, a lot of tutoring, a lot of educational websites, they have online resources now. And a lot of us teacher training teachers, we want kind of a bit of extra work on the side. So we'll do that. And also for your students in school, if you want to make videos for them or make them a Google Classroom or a Teams, those IT skills are very valuable to you as a teacher. So it's really good that it is part of the course. Also, our modules, they're developed by international researchers in STEM education, and they work for Castell as well. So we have the best lecturers, and I can definitely say that. These are just a few little photos of science education. So we have our own dedicated lab in DCU, which is really nice. It's a nice small lab. It kind of replicates what a lab would sort of look like in a secondary school. So when we're learning about junior cycle or senior cycle science and practicing how to teach demonstrations and experiments, we're in the right environment to do that. So it's really nice. It's just especially for us. And I have a few more photos as well. This is one of our graduates who won the Dean's Award recipient for the top academic award. Here's some more for chemistry. So we just design activities and kind of alter demonstrations and experiments to be more student-led rather than the teacher telling students what to do. So education has changed completely since I went to school anyway. But it's all about just being creative and getting students to teach themselves science. If you ask the right questions, they'll tell you the science. That's what we're always told in college. And these are just some workshops that we do. So we have our own small science education group, but then we're also working with students who are doing PE and maths, PE and biology. And then for, say, physics, chemistry, maths, you will be in a mix of students that are actually doing physics as a course or maths as a course. So you're meeting loads of people, but then you also have your small science education group as your support system. So these are more workshops that we do. They're really fun, and they get you kind of thinking about how you can make the most mundane topics of your course interesting. That was the big takeaway that I took. There's some physics experiments that are dreadful to set up, but if you can make fun worksheets or make some activities around it beforehand, it makes life so much easier for students and the teacher. So this is a big element of the course. It's not actually part of the course, but it runs alongside it technically. So we have a STEM teacher internship program. It was founded in DCU. It's still going ahead. I did it last year. It's a 12-week paid internship. So it's specifically for teachers who are teaching STEM subjects, and it's for us to go out into the industry, to work for various organisations and companies and get that experience. So then when we go back to teach, we can say, oh, I actually worked in the science industry. Are you interested in science? I can tell you a little bit about what the day-to-day work life is like once you graduate. So it's really nice. Also, if you worked for a specific company like myself, Airgrid, I could bring my TY physics class to see the wind turbines and explain the science behind that. So you build connections with these organisations and companies as well. Also, some people like to go to that path after they graduate. You might not want to teach at the end of it. You might want to teach for a couple of years, change up careers. That's another option to you. You've opened that door. So there's so many benefits to doing this internship. It's during the summer. You can do it from the summer of third year all the way up to almost, I think, 5 years after you graduate. So it's a nice job that you can do for 12 weeks every summer if you wanted to, or you could do it the odd summer, completely up to you. There's loads and loads and loads of information on the STEM teacher internship website. So definitely look at that. You can look at videos of students who went and you can see what kind of work they did. And you can also see the hosts that you could work for potentially. So these are just a couple of things that the STEM intern said. So they visited and toured a data center. They found out more about how they operate and their importance. Another one was they were trained on how to check leaflets. And then another person said that they attended a stint workshop in Microsoft and learned about coding. So they're completely different. There's so many, it's a wide variety, and they're all across Ireland. So no matter where you are, you'll potentially find an internship that suits you. Definitely look into that. Next, I just want to talk about the course structure. So in year one, you specialise straight away. So physics or chemistry, and then you're doing some maths, and then education foundation. So that's just the basics of education. And the highlight of that is micro teaching. So for first and second year, before you go on placement, it's just a bit of practice for you. So in front of your course or in front of a group, you will teach a mini lesson. And it's just to get you into the habit of planning for things, having your resources together, having the confidence to speak, practicing how you're going to question students. It's really invaluable because placement, it's a 6-week stretch. It's quite long. So you definitely want to be ready and in that routine. And then year two, you have some more lectures on your physics or chemistry and maths. And then you have labs. So in your chosen subject. So if you're doing physics, you'll have physics labs. If you're doing chemistry, you'll have chemistry labs. And they have a few assignments in between. Year three, then, you're specifically focusing on junior cycle methodologies. So the placement for year three is mainly focused on junior cycle. Now, some people do teach leaving cert subjects during year three, but it's quite rare. The main focus is just to get you in there and try with junior cycle because it is the most familiar content. You have your placement, you're doing more education modules, they are tied in with your placement, and then more on your chosen subjects after your placement. So you won't have lectures during your placement, it'll be before and after to prep you before, and then afterwards you're back to college life for a bit. And then in year 4, we have some leaving certificate methodologies. So the focus for year 4 is to practice teaching leaving cert, which can be quite daunting, but from 4 years of doing physics or chemistry and maths lectures, which are way more advanced than leaving cert, you do feel a lot more confident with the content and it comes to you a lot quicker. So that's the benefit of that. And then, as I said, your school placement runs from January to the end of May. And you can stay on with that school afterwards. I think the statistic was like 97% of us stay on with the school afterwards. And then the other percent, they joined another school during the summer. So everyone ends up with a job afterwards. We're very highly sought after. For school placement teaching practice, so education is a huge part, obviously. First year, as I said, micro teaching, small group teaching, you're just dipping your toes into education. Second year, then you start looking at things like philosophy, what else? The history of education. You have some modules like that, which are more essay and presentation based, but then you'll also have some more micro teaching, and then you might do a school observation. The course has since changed since I was in second year. We didn't have an observation, now you do. So I'm not sure if you decide on the school that you're observing or if it's given to you, but you can check with, I have a contact for you at the end of this. In third year, then you have 8 weeks, so it has slightly changed. Junior cycle science and maths, and then in fourth year it's 16 weeks in school teaching. Okay, and there's some more photos. So down to the entry requirements. So you need a minimum of an O1 or a H6 in maths, and a minimum of O4 and H6 in physics, chemistry, biology, doesn't matter, just one of them. And then the points for last year was 434. Now, obviously it does vary, but it has kind of stabilised around that. When I was doing it 3-4 years ago, I think it was 420. So it hasn't really changed in the last couple of years. Where can your degree take you? Okay, so as I said, you can become a teacher, you can correct exam papers, you can supervise exams, you could become a tutor, you could do grinds, you could set up your own education company. There's loads of things you can do with this degree. Another thing is leadership. You can work for the PDST, you can work for the NCCA, developing curriculum. We have a module on curriculum development, so that kind of leads you in that way if you're slightly interested in it. The ETB. Also, a lot of people decide to work for STEM industry-based companies and organisations because they have the knowledge. Our physics, chemistry and maths modules are those that other students would do who are specialising purely in those subjects. So we actually do have that knowledge there, and it's available for you. That door is open, but also teaching is there as well. And the skills that you get from becoming a teacher are transferable to any other job. So it is beneficial in that sense. And then life at DCU in general. So we do have a student advice centre. We also have a career support service. So if you're someone who is a bit unsure about their CV, you want to do a mock interview, you are in year 3 or 4 and you're maybe like, do I do a master's degree? Do I want to work in a STEM industry? Do I want to be a teacher? Do I want to change? They're freely available for you to use. You can go into that service, they'll talk you through, they have all the information that you need. So it's a really good service, and if you do come to DCU, I would highly suggest you make use of it. Also, clubs and societies in first year, it's really important to just get to know as many people as you can. With science education, it's a lovely, gorgeous course in that it's quite small. We all get to know each other very well and we're very close-knit. But you don't want to be tied down to a course. You want to kind of throw yourself all over campus, meet people in different courses. So clubs and SOCs is the way to do that. We also have learning support service, disability service, and we have a maths learning centre. So if you're someone who's not too confident in maths, that was definitely me in first year, the maths learning centre is brilliant. it's like a free grind service essentially. You can book it to be online or in person. It's in our library, and they've done our modules, so they can help us and they have the knowledge to do that. And we also have a writing service. We do a couple of essays throughout the course. So if you're someone who struggles with essays, or maybe English isn't your best subject, they can read through your essay and make sure it's all good. So we've loads and loads of services available getting here. So you can walk if you're living. We've loads of student accommodation around DCU. You can also get accommodation in DCU. You can cycle. We have bike sheds that are freely available to use. Dublin bus. Again, it doesn't just bring you to DCU. You can also get loads of buses that will bring you between campuses. And again, as I said, you'll mainly be on Glasnevin for science, but then for education, you're really on St. Pat's campus. There's also trains, private buses. I know the Matthews bus goes from Dundalk to DCU around Whitehall. So there's loads of those available. You can car share, there's M50 links, there's loads of ways to get to DCU. That's not really an issue. And if you've any questions and answers really specific to the course, Natalie O'Neill is our chairperson, and that's her email and phone number. So if you want to take that down at any point, she has all the information regarding the slight changes to the course. It has been updated as of recent.